All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Eugene, Oregon for day 4 of the U.S. Outdoor Track and Field Championships. I'm Chris Chavez, joined by Eric Jenkins and Aisha Praught-Leer, and it feels like we got some track beef to talk about. What a day!
What a day. Unbelievable day.
Pretty spicy.
That's the perfect word for it, I feel like. All right, let's begin with the men's 200, because even our YouTube chat is already talking about it. There's like, I heard that there was a boxing match at the track today, like right after the 200-meter final. And so, you know, what happened in the race? No, Lyles won the 200. Kenny Bednarek was second. Robert Gregory was third. Yeah, those are the results. But that's not really, I guess, what people are caring about right now, because, yeah, expected people made the team. After the race, it felt like Noah Lyles, you know, was starting his celebration in a way, but even before that, I guess, crossing the finish line with a couple meters to go, stare down of Kenny Bednarek right before the finish line. And obviously, Noah has beaten Kenny every single time except for at the Olympics, and that's the last time that these two raced head-to-head. And Kenny was on a tear and talking this big game about how this is his year, and then Noah wins again. And as Noah finishes the race, he takes a couple steps into Kenny's lane and still kind of stares him down. And I think it was now taunting him a little bit, saying something. And then Kenny pushes Noah, and then Noah kind of turns around, stares at him, and taunts him again. And the two got a little chippy. And I loved seeing it. Aisha and I were sitting together today in the stadium, and we were like, I love this. I love this.
It was essentially an episode of Real Housewives. Like, it was there was so much drama, and we were on the edge of our seats. We started screaming when we saw the stare, and then we kind of went silent, because what is going to happen? Like, you could feel the tension in the air in that moment, and it was so exciting that, like, we weren't exactly sure. Did someone do something wrong? But yeah, we really saw some energy out there. And
then immediately it's like, okay, what's going to happen next? Because they're got to both get interviewed on the TV broadcast, and like clearly it carried over. It didn't like dissipate very quickly. So I just tweeted out a clip. If you want to find it, it's on my Twitter page, where someone tweeted out the broadcast footage of Lewis Johnson about to interview the two of them, but the mic is already on, so the mic is hot. And you can you can't really hear what Noah says at first, but then Kenny says, if you had a problem, I expected a call. And then Noah, I kind of like shook his head and was like, let's talk about this after. And then, from what I've kind of gathered so far,
that was picked up on hot mics?
On hot mic. And then they did an interview. Normal interview, nothing too crazy. Very disappointing in-stadium interview where nothing was asked about the whole situation. Massive ball drop there. What was it? Andy Cohen, you said would have done a better job.
Andy Cohen really killed me. Got that text from Scott Fauble, actually, that Andy Cohen would have killed the post-race interview. Also, we're leaving out the part where, after the push, Kenny approaches Noah with his hand out to shake.
Yeah.
To be like, yo, bro, like, it was a push because I didn't want to crash into you, you know, whatever.
So that's what he said. It was a push because Noah cut into his lane.
So Noah was also saying something and a stare down. Like, it was like a statement. Noah's done something similar before with the stare down of Arian Knighton back in 2022.
Yeah, the stare down was sick. I mean, everything about this race was sick. I just wasn't sure if the push was, you know, like how much he actually got in his way, and like if he didn't push him, would he have actually tripped up into him?
They were quite close. Mm-hmm. You could have done a gentler push, I'm sure. Like, it could have been like, you know, a little 1,500-meter runner, like, oh yeah, oop, oop, like, don't, you know, give me a little space. Yeah. But there was a kind of a two-hand push, but Kenny did immediately go up to try to, you know,
I saw that.
Right the ship, and they really got chippy back and forth right then.
So, and then that's sort of like what we all saw, and now we're getting to the point of like, what else have we heard? So then they go through the mix zone, and Kenny is, well, let's knock out what Noah says first. Noah gets asked about all of this, and for the most part, he says no comment. Like, a commenter here on the YouTube chat kind of did nail it. He's like, Noah said no comment in the mix zone. Like he's going to save it for some goofy podcast that he's going to go on or some random podcast. And it's like, I don't know, like it'll come out. But Kenny shared a bit more. He was like, it was something personal. I didn't like it. I don't stand for any of that shit. Like Kenny actually just did. He did curse in his tweet. Our interview with Kenny is going up shortly, I think, probably as the show is going on live. But now, so you can watch and hear everything that they said on there. You don't really get a whole lot, but sources are telling me that right after the TV interview ended, Noah was explaining to Lewis Johnson, the NBC TV commentator, like what the history is here behind a bit of the beef. And if we go a couple months back, and I can kind of explain this situation because I've known about it for a while. There was this whole thing on Twitter about this Track Spice account that came out. And a lot of this is still not necessarily been 100% confirmed, but if you piece together a lot of the breadcrumbs that are out there, like you can get a sense of like who was potentially behind this account. And this account started off maybe 2 or 3 years ago as a Kenny Bednarek fan account, and then very quickly changed its handle, changed its name, and became Track Spice, which just became like the TMZ Twitter account of
Gossip Girl of Track.
Yeah, the Gossip Girl of Track, where it did tweet random photos of athletes and saying like, rate this person's fit, or this person looked, and then like sometimes would call out performances by athletes saying like this person looked like trash in a race, and like there was a weird obsession with Sha'Carri Richardson, and then Sha'Carri Richardson's dating life, and Gabby Thomas, and it was just a little bit of a messy account, but they took pride in that. They like embraced it. And then there was a tweet about Gabby Thomas that I don't believe Gabby Thomas really liked. And then Gabby Thomas did a little bit of internet recon herself, Harvard graduate, was able to figure out, I think I know who this is, and tweeted at the account, I'll see you in Philly. And a lot of people were wondering, okay, what does she mean by that? That means like she knows who the person is, and eventually someone else who actually ironically ended up being like the guy who heckled Gabby at the Grand Slam Philly event, posted a photo of Kenny Bednarek and his girlfriend, and like said, this is Track Spice. And Ray's Take, RIP, another Twitter account that just got deleted within the last 24 hours, was defending that no, that can't be it. I know all this stuff. But no, like there were so many signs that pointed that this was someone connected to Kenny Bednarek, because there would never be anything said badly about Kenny. Had a weird obsession with select sprinters and athletes, and Noah was one of those athletes who would sometimes get criticized on the account. If you looked at every single one of those tweets, there was never anything said negative or criticizing Kenny, but to any of his other competitors, they were targets. And so I mean that, and then the account shut down as soon as Gabby said, "I know who this is." It like very quickly said, no, there's multiple people behind the account. I've exchanged emails with the person behind the account before, because I was like, hey, like you're using our photos, like please don't do that.
Cease and desist.
Then like I did try to do like a reverse email search on the account, and I kind of got more hints as to who this person is. And so like, yeah, so the belief is that the Track Spice Twitter account was connected to someone in Kenny Bednarek's circles, probably not him. I don't see him being the type of person who would like fire off a bunch of tweets. But yeah, so then it finally came to a head, because this is the first time I guess Noah and Kenny were in the same place. And so I wonder if what Noah maybe have said at that finish line was connected to all of this.
This is the first time since all that came out that Noah and Kenny have seen each other, or is it the first time they've, I guess, raced?
Yeah.
It's so let's say all of that is true.
Yeah.
It's so funny and so messy.
It's so messy.
It's so
well. I remember in the NBA, like the Sixers had like the GM or someone like running a burner account that was like
Yeah.
criticizing the team, and so
Yeah.
it's like this is a trend in other sports.
Like
Keyboard warriors.
yes.
Keyboard warriors.
And,
That's
like,
exactly the right.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant famously had burner accounts.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
he embraced it though, I think.
Yeah. No. Yeah. He embraced. Has Kenny said anything about that?
See, that's the thing.
publicly?
It's like
Has
I don't
anyone
think I don't think
asked him
anyone's
about that?
asked him directly because I don't think I won't.
Yeah. You're like, I want to, but
Yeah, I guess I
wouldn't.
haven't. But like,
Yeah, we forgot to ask him in the content creators. Zone
Yeah,
in
right.
Grand
shoot.
Slam.
it's honestly like there should be a big J out there who like this is a story. Go for it. I'm not gonna go for it. You can.
Yeah, I mean it's a bizarre kind of. You don't really hear about. We need a track spice distance version because it does create drama.
It's buzz.
That 200 was so much fun to watch. The stare down was wild, right? Noah looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny been on fire since Grand Slam, and Noah came back, won that, stared him down the last few steps. This is great. I mean, we were in the stands watching it. Every single race was electric, and everyone was going nuts. But that type of stuff happens, and you're like, here we go. This is fun. You do need more of it.
Yeah.
Because I think that there is like you can probably think back in your career, like there are people that you do just want to beat so badly, and there are people that you do sort of, you know, whether it's real life beef or in your mind beef, like you create and have nemesis, and this is a true like nemesis situation, and I'm really excited that the crowd was treated to such a, you know, an emotional experience. Like track is emotional. Like this is everything to these people, and to see it like all play out like that was pretty fun.
And the other athletes love it too. That it's getting like this messy. We have, I think, a interview with Ry Benjamin that's going up, and then there'll probably be a clip that comes out shortly of like him reacting to seeing all of this. Like it's good.
Oh my God, we love drama. Everyone loves this type of shit. It is fun to watch. Was there a rumor? We couldn't hear a lot of stuff that was going on in the stands, but didn't Kenny ask for like an apology
In that
for the
moment,
stare down?
I don't know if he asked for an apology, but I think he did. He extended his hand to like shake Noah's hand, and Noah just didn't do it. Someone tweeted that Kenny asked for an apology. Apparently,
If you happen to be watching this and we're sitting in that section, if your ears heard any words, put them in the chat.
yeah, well, apparently someone said Noah said his coach told him not to comment and all this stuff, but. Yeah, I mean, this is Pablo Torre, who's on like he's got that big podcast where he did that whole expose on like Bill Belichick's girlfriend and stuff. This is a story that is so ripe for him. So Pablo Torre find out who is behind Track Spice, and
We need that, and then we need a lip reader from today.
Yeah, I mean, like the lip reading. Someone send that clip to John Boy. He's great. He does all the baseball lip reading. Like, we need that to know exactly what was said there. But yeah, it's spicy was the perfect word to lead this whole thing off because it connects to everything, and it's the expression I think that we have like coming off of this. But this is far from over, and like we'll probably see them race again against one another, definitely in Tokyo. But I wonder if they'll do it on the Diamond League circuit or if they're just going to buckle down and train. But frankly, even like if we're talking about like performance, like it wasn't anything earth shattering. Like the 200 is an event that is going to be, you know, pretty even, I say, this year, because no one's running 9.4s, 9.5s like they did a couple of years back. So Tobogo's probably enjoying watching this too, like on his iPad somewhere in Botswana. Yeah. So that 200 was crazy. We'll get more from Anderson when he joins us and gives us a rundown of what it was like in the mix zone when he talked to those guys. But okay, we're going to shift away from the sprints for a bit because we did have like the craziest race that took place. And it's a race that is just going to live on in the annals of U.S. distance running history. We're talking about the men's 800 and how this whole thing unfolded because, again, Aisha and I were in the stands and we were just yelling like, what? Holy shit. And like, just mouth agape for minutes and minutes and minutes after this race, because kind of we came into it being there's a big four. It's the team is going to be 3 of these 4 guys, and in the end, the team was only 2 of those 4 guys. And how it played out, you had Josh Hoey right from the front, goes out, splits 49-29 for the first 400. So let's pause there. Eric, what are you thinking when you see that first opening 800 split?
I mean, it's fast, right? But I think we all knew that this is going to be the approach that Hoey had. He's been pretty vocal in saying he's in incredible shape. He runs from the front. So I kind of think it's a disadvantage. When everybody knows your strategy going in. Like, just play your cards closer to the chest. You don't need to be very vocal about saying like what you're gonna do or what your race strategy is. Because yes, it was fast, but again, like everyone's on him, right? It wasn't like he had gapped the field and everyone's like, "Whoa, we didn't see it going that fast." Everyone's now mentally like, "Oh, this is what is gonna happen. Be prepared for it to be very fast and hang on."
I'm looking at these splits. So Hoey's first to get to 200 is 24:15, but from 100 to 200 it was 11.79. Like, it was a hard push. Hoppel was also right there. I mean, he basically went into this like, if you want to make this team, I'm going to make everyone hurt.
Yeah, I mean, this was one of the best races I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I had said the same exact thing.
Like, I was like, I cannot believe how good that race was.
So then you wanted to keep going with
how
it played out. So then from there, I mean, all the major players are in it at that point, where you had Hoey, Hoppel, then Brandon Miller and Donovan Brazier kind of side by side. And then there's a little bit of distance for the rest of the guys. We'll get to them in a bit. And then it did start to look like Josh Hoey was getting tired. And with 200 meters to go, we're like, no, he's not a sure bet. Like, he's fading, and everyone else is moving forward. And from there, Brazier was the one who looked amazing, and he powers through. And Hoppel also was covering the move.
Hoppel moved really hard at 200.
Yeah,
really hard at 200.
And Hoey's going backwards at that point. Like, it got to him.
Also at 200, 250
to go.
Donovan's making pretty crazy. Like, he stayed on the inside, right? He made inside passes with. I think he passed Brandon Miller on the inside.
Yeah. So I have it pulled up in front of me. So yeah, keep going.
But I just like stayed calm, didn't panic. Passed on the inside, very rare, and especially with how fast they're going.
He was right up on him.
Super savvy running from him.
Yeah, so 200 meters to go. Everyone's bunched up. The high schooler, Cooper Littenhouse, is running in lane 2 the whole entire time, but passing everyone, passing Colin Solomon, passing Isaiah Harris. Big gap there with 100 to go.
Very big gap.
And then as Hoey is tying up in the home stretch, Hoppel was in the lead, but Brazier finds some room in between the two of them.
He split them.
Yeah.
Again, he passed Hoppel on Hoppel's inside, right? He got around Hoey.
And Brazier hits the finish line, personal best. And so he's ecstatic because he's back, 142.16. And then immediately next to him, you have the high schooler, hands up in the air and like on his head, 142.27, just absolutely destroyed whatever the high school record was that he had before this. I mean, he came into this meet a 145 guy. He's leaving this thing as a 142 guy. That's a U18 world record. He's 16 years old. He's headed to the World Championships. He's the youngest ever American to compete at a World Championships. Younger than Allison Felix ever did it. Younger than Mary Kane ever did it. Good luck to any kid running high school track and you've got to stare down a 142.27 high school record for the rest of time. And then
That's otherworldly.
Michael Granville held it for a long time, and I think Cooper Lutenhouse is going to hold it for twice as long at this point. And then Bryce Hoppel ends up taking that third spot to make the team. Everyone in this field broke 145. Even it was PBs, U18 world record, season's best. Even Brandon Miller, who we pegged as a contender to make this team, he runs 143.14, a personal best. He got the best out of himself today and finishes fifth. Isaiah Harris, who's made teams so many times, 144.23, personal best, doesn't make the team. Like, this race was so insane.
It was insane, right? I mean, that's really one of the only words for it. Like, to see Donovan come through the line, like the emotion that he immediately showed, like I was like getting choked up in the stands watching it. You couldn't be happier for the guy. But when you see how hard Cooper closed, you're like, man, this guy is. I mean, it's God-given talent from both of those front two guys. I was like, this is just a crazy race.
Remember yesterday when you were kind of joking? He's like, he's on an NIL with Nike, right? Like, and if he's not, like, we should sign him or whatever.
Yeah, sign him.
So he's
Can't
not.
afford him now.
He's rocking a Nike kit, but he's not on an NIL deal because I learned this afterwards. Texas is one of those states that doesn't allow for NIL. And so he's just like on a Nike like elite program. I think that they get gear and stuff. And so this changes everything. I mean, he's going to the World Championship, but we run a time like this, like you're contender to make the final. He might have to give some thought to turning pro, like right after this.
I mean, he will turn. Like, I would be shocked if he doesn't almost. I mean,
his college recruiting process hasn't even started.
Or they got to move out of Texas.
Or that.
You got to get that NIL. You're getting
You got to
paid.
get that money.
You do that somehow. You got to get paid. Whether it's you're moving out of Texas, you, like, put the house on the market, hit the road, or go pro. Like,
buy a second home somewhere and spend 6 months in one day.
Honest to God, I mean, it was nuts. But I'm just like, if you're Hoey, right? It's the exact same thing happened to him that Yard happened with Yard Goose.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like he watched Yard race and he's like, I still like my game plan. Like, I think it's. He was so off in the sense of you really thought you were just going to sprint away from all of those guys.
Yeah,
I think it's a wild move. He definitely, and so much was made about him with his workouts before, right? He had these like this crazy where he did a couple 600s. He paced his brother to a fast time on the home track on the farm, but I mean he's got to be devastated. I know he's said that he wants to win
the Diamond League.
Diamond League.
Well, I mean, this is the popular thing that everyone's talking about. A Diamond League wild card.
Tough card to win right there.
Yeah, good luck trying to beat Wanyoni, Marco Rope.
Yeah, they're watching that. Like, good luck. Good luck in the Diamond League final if you think you're just gonna win, especially with those tactics.
Yeah.
Good luck.
It's also hard when you use the same tactics for every race. Like, Josh Hoey has had a really incredible early season, and you think, this is the right formula every time. Boom, boom, go out hard, whatever. But what you're not accounting for is guys like Donovan Brazier who he wasn't even training when Josh Hoey was full steam ahead. Like, the rest of the field is eventually going to catch up and catch on. It's not as if Josh Hoey he's been running precipitously faster and faster and faster, but so has everyone else. And when you get to the level of a US championship, a world championship, you can't really run away from anyone. Like, the level is too high. Another thing I was really impressed with, and we talked about this earlier, is about how Donovan Brazier has had this long time away from the sport, and he has said that he hasn't been watching. Mm-hmm. The prowess he showed today, he might be one of the smartest racers we've ever seen. Like, that is innate race IQ. How he went about like finding his way to be exactly where he should have been at every time, splitting the two people. That looks like someone who has been racing at the highest level nonstop, no issues, no hiccups. I couldn't believe my eyes. Like the poise and how smooth he was able to execute that was just it's a masterclass.
Wait, this was Donovan's personal best?
Yeah.
I mean,
He wasn't training until March.
like what?
He's knocking on the door of 141.
What can you say about it? Like
He's not on bicarb.
He's not on bicarb. I'm like, get on bicarb. Taking so much time away from the sport and to he's better than ever right now. Man, it's amazing what he's been able to do.
So let's think big picture now. Like as we shift our attention to Tokyo, one of the first things I said when the results were populating onto the big board, and I turned to Aisha, was like, I really like this team. Like we could get 3 guys to the final at the World Championships with just how strong everyone looked, and that's crazy high praise for the high schooler too. I just pulled up his profile because I was like, what did he start this year as? He started this year as a 147 guy. Ran 146 indoors at the Millrose Games, and then come the outdoor season, opened up with a 149, 150, 147, 146, 145, 147, 145, and then today runs 142. Just so much talent. I mean, like, I like this kid's race savviness, and like he's got that instinct where it's like he wants to sniff out a win. There was a chance he almost won. He could have won this race today.
I mean, there was with 150. He had a huge gap. Right, like he. I wonder what his last 100, 150 was, because they had run away from him, and he managed to close like a madman.
You want Cooper's last 150? I can find that for you.
But I mean, the way he ran,
12:48.
He doesn't have necessarily like the same experience that a guy like Donovan has, or Bryce Hoppel. But I mean, when you're running as fast as he did today, what are you gonna say? You're gonna say he's not gonna make the final. You're gonna say he's doesn't have a shot at medaling. He just beat Bryce Hoppel, who always has a shot at being up there. So you can't put a limit on the guy.
It's also a little bit giving me like Vernon Norwood, Quincy Wilson of like, you have Donovan Brazier to essentially mentor you, one of the all-time greats, to look up to ask questions. I mean, flying across the world, I don't know how many stamps Cooper has in his passport, but this is a big trip. And it's going to be completely uncharted territory, but he has such a wealth of knowledge in Donovan and Bryce, like great mentors to bring him along in this game.
I'm on his World Athletics profile, or his... And this only goes back to 2023. I don't think this kid's ever raced outside of America. It's like all Texas and Eugene, Oregon, and New York. So, I mean, it could be a big cultural shock, but this is good experience because he's at just 16 years old. I mean, think about it. You ran 142 at 16 years old. You might break the world record in the 800 before you even have a legal drink of alcohol.
Yeah, this is one of, I'm like 100%. Once you run a race like this, everybody starts saying it's like world record, right?
Yeah,
gold medals.
That's a lot of expectations and pressure.
So much expectation because now the entire world has placed so many expectations on you after a race like this, and it is natural, right? Like, okay, you're 16 years old. It is insane to say he's 16 years old. He's not even really close to finishing high school.
No.
He's probably into his junior year.
Yeah, and like the mix zone guys just got back, but like, is he going to be back in school by the time World starts? Right, he got to be right mid-September.
Right.
He's gonna have to miss social studies.
This has been a hell of a summer break for the kid.
Yeah.
He's like, good summer for me.
Yeah.
He's going back. He's walking back into school pretty cocky.
Yeah.
He's going to be a king at school.
In Texas, like where the football players reign supreme.
Well, actually, he's going to have to switch schools so he can get an NIL. So he's going to have some adjustments. He's like trying to make new friends because he will have to move or he'll go pro.
Okay, so, I mean, it feels silly to think about because we wouldn't have thought about this a year ago, but Donovan, Brazier, Bryce Hoppel, for sure, I think just because of the experience they have on these global stages, definite medal threats in
100%, yeah.
It's hard because, like, two of the medals could be occupied by a Wanyoni or a Marco Rope. Like, they've been so good, but the rest of that podium is wide open. And you know, given a Rope didn't run well in Monaco, anything can happen in a race, but I like our medal chances.
I mean, you know, Marco and Wanyoni are watching that race and believing that Donovan's a medal threat.
They're
It's
like, oh,
We've seen
okay.
this.
Yeah,
We've seen this before.
We've seen this before. You watch 2019 Doha, and he comes back, and he's now fitter. He's running faster. Of course, he's a medal threat.
Yeah, and then they're also they're on their phones being, how do I spell Lutkenhaus? Like who? They're probably very confused, especially when Yoni wakes up in Nairobi and looks at these results. All right, but I mean, we can probably rewatch. This is one of those races where, like,
I'm gonna need to watch it 10 times tonight.
watch it 10 times, and if you're a track fan and want to get a friend into track for the first time, like I used to show the 2008 Olympic Trials 800-meter final. It's a little grainy. There's no good quality version of it on YouTube. It's still very thrilling. Then I show people the 2012 Olympic final, but I think this is the new one that, like, you might have to just show people and be like, pick a guy and watch him and just watch how this race unfolds, because you can see just like all the different moves that panned out. It was, yeah. I mean, I've just used the word insane like 5 times already. So that is the men's 800. Let's shift over to the women's 800, where Team New Balance got the dub. Very savvy racing by Roisin Willis to come away with the victory in this one, 159.26. But even, I mean, in this one, Aisha's been singing the praises of Maggie Congdon and how, I mean, she looked great at the NCAA championships, and sorry, this Olipop, I keep burping. It's vintage cola. I haven't had this one in a couple days, so really enjoying it. Drinkolipop.com. Use promo code CITIUS25 for 25% off your order. But Congdon looked great at the Sound Running meet where she ran that 800, and I think that's the one that gave her the confidence to be like, okay, let's go all in on that event, because I think there's a better shot to make this team versus, all right, I have to run 355, 357 to try it, or be in that shape to make the 15 team, which, like, this gives me shades of, like, Jenny Simpson, where it's like, okay, steeplechase was the first event that she qualified for a world team for, and then went on to become a 1,500-meter star. I think this is only the beginning of Congdon in the 800, but 15 could be, like, the true calling card down the road. But this was another big run for her. And then Sage Herdeklecker ate the track at the very end, but, you know, she was caught up in the fall last year, and this time she falls after the finish line and makes her first U.S. senior team for the World Championships, 159, just narrowly ahead of Nia Akins, who's a little physical there. And, yeah, I mean, this one played out where, like, everyone was kind of very passive and, like, deferring to, like, who's going to be the person to make the move. Everyone was in it at the bell, and they were all bunched up. And so, you know, I turned to Aisha before this race. I was like, where do you think the fall is going to happen? Because, like, it's going to happen. And then, I mean, this is a rough look for, you know, some of the BYU alums out of that are now just newly signed pros with Nike, because yesterday, you know, Riley Chamberlain, I guess she's not Nike yet, but Megan Hunter today caused a little bit of a just shuffle. There wasn't a fall, but it did take out and totally disrupted Addie Wiley's race. So Addie Wiley, once again, crashes out at the U.S. Championships. This time, like, I don't think it's, well, I mean, she got caught up in the whole thing, but not necessarily her fault that caused it. It did disrupt Raven Rogers' race, where Raven was closing hard and was in a good position. And then, yeah, I mean, like, Agate and Valerie Tobias maybe weren't quite there, but which, like, just sends panic throughout the whole field. But this is big for Roisin, and the best part is just like the joy that it you can see on her face and how much it brought her. Like she's someone who's opened up about just the depression and mental health and how like that was really taxing for her in her first couple of years at Stanford. She storms back, wins the NCAA championships this year, and is just like silently been in just California on campus at Stanford, just training this whole entire time. And then this is a big performance. She shows up and wins the whole thing.
And she's 20 years old.
20.
That's incredible.
Mac and I were interviewing her at New Balance Nationals like three years ago. Yeah.
The progress she's made is astounding, and to see Sage finally get it done, like that has got to feel so good. And you can see the different emotions after the race. There's really only ever going to be 3 people happy in any race at a U.S. Championships. Like to have that true joy, and there are going to be people that can be proud of their performances, but it is unfortunately it's a make or break. One day only. They can only take 3, but the way these 3 executed a very messy, challenging 3 races. It was incredibly fast rounds to get here. Lots of jostling, lots of, elbows. So much is going on. That really prepares these 3 to go to the next step. And we think about, okay, the men's 800, that was, one of the best races I've ever seen. But this was also equally exciting. It was, it really was anyone's day. And to see the fireworks of a super fast race like that, we love to see that. But to come on top of a really tactical, challenging race, like that's also a very valuable skill that you need in championship racing.
Yeah, this was a super fun race. Very tactical. I think I don't know necessarily what the athletes are thinking. I'm sure they thought maybe Addie Wiley was going to be the one pushing the pace like a Josh Hoey, and that wasn't the case. It got bunched. It got messy and tactical, but very, very fun to watch. Raven did look like it's like 150 to go. Raven's doing Raven stuff and closing hard. Gets pushed way wide. Now all of a sudden she's out of it. Congdon was closing super well. Right?
Yeah.
Closed like a train, and it was a fantastic race across the board.
Yeah, Congdon faster final lap than Roisin Willis. I'm seeing here. I think she had the best close of everyone in that second lap, but she also had the most work to do to move up from 9th place at the bell to 2nd. Yeah,
that's tough, and I think that will be probably her takeaway from this is that she looked the best in the last 50, and if you're maybe if you're not in 9th, you're in 7th. Like maybe that's the win.
So yesterday, when I was a little bit critical about these college kids making, comprising a good chunk of the steeplechase team and not having a bunch of experience, this time around, we have this team with not a ton of experience. Although I feel better about them because of how much faster, they're faster, they're closer to the front of what the upper echelon of what this event is, right? You could go from being a 159 or what are their PBs? It's 150, 158, 157 runner. You can go from that to being a 155, 156 runner much more easily than in the steeplechase, obviously, like
a 920 to
that
it,
is between the East Africans. But so, and plus, there's the NCAA experience. I think the NCAA experience in the rounds, this is a better team. This is a strong team, I think. Although, Sage is someone who has had all of the experience on the Diamond League, reaching the Diamond League final, I think, 2 years ago. That I feel the best of her chances, but then I'm also just very high on the upside in Roisin Willis's talent to potentially make it that far. 800 internationally a thing. It was our shining star for the past couple years. You have to think that maybe Keely Hodgkinson is going to come back. She's been battling injury, but Georgia Hunter-Bell has looked phenomenal in that event all year long. She told Preet Majithia out in the UK today that She has not decided if she's going to go 15 or 8. I think you go 8 if you're her. Mary Mora can never counter out. So, like, it's tough to think about coming away with a medal here. So I think, like, for some of them, like, making the final is going to be a big box to check. And then from there, anything can happen. Just, like, surprise yourself on that day.
I look at this field, and it's, to me, such a rebuild in a sense.
Yeah.
Like, you have incredible storied veterans and exciting up and comers. And I think this could be the start of passing the torch onto the next generation of women's 800 runners in the US. And I think it's in really great hands.
I think Roisin could be that person for sure. And, like, I'm not biased because I'm decked out in New Balance and sitting with the New Balance folks during the meet and going nuts during all this. Actually, I'm definitely biased if you consider all of those things. But we've seen flashes of this. Like, Mac and I can probably speak to it because, like, when we were covering her as a high schooler, like, we saw that potential that she's had. It's in her mom was an Olympian as well and ran and represented Ireland. We're lucky we got her for America because she's a real deal.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at that field and you're like, oh, I want athletes who have a lot of international experience, like a Raven, but it's these people just beat all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, you should want them.
Yeah.
And Roisin looked very savvy racing in a tactical race, made all the right moves, played her cards very well, and I don't know how the races will play out in Tokyo on the world stage, but
they haven't been anything crazy fast, right?
So you gotta like how you would want to send someone like Roisin who did that and made the right moves. And yes, like, you know, her and Maggie Congdon and Sage haven't made world teams, but they beat everybody who did.
Yeah, I guess, like, you can give some experience points to Roisin because she did U20s, I think, like 2 years ago or something like that, and she came away with gold, I believe. There, she came away with gold.
Gold at U20s.
Gold at U20s.
So that is international.
3 years
experience.
ago.
Yeah.
I'd even go back and look and see, like, who she beat in that race, but if I could pull that up
She'll have
quick.
to face some pretty tough talent. I mean, Keeley is set to race Luzon, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Georgia Hunter Bell should, consider running the 8. Halima Nakai has been running really well, the Ugandan. It's not as if this is a completely wide open race, but there aren't the big 3 that are impenetrable. Like, there is opportunity here.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. You want to know who was one of the persons that one of the people that Roisin beat at the U20s in that? So there was Juliet Whitaker, who made the final last year. That was her teammate. Nelly Chepchirchir was in that race, and she beat Nelly Chepchirchir.
Wow.
Like, so, yeah, I mean, like, Roisin's been exposed to high-level competition for a long time, plus New Balance Nationals as well. Like, she was in that era where she was racing Juliet and Sophia Guerrerion, like, all the time, and they were going after high school records and all that stuff. So building that experience over time, for sure. So women's 8. Another really, really fun race to watch today. Then, if we're staying on distance while we have you guys, we had the men's 5K first. Cole Hocker ends up taking the victory in 13:26. A great reward for doing so much of the work in this one. Like, went to the front.
All of the work.
All of it. But then allowed the race to just kind of, like, play into his strengths, where for a while I was like, we said this. I was like, is Cole pacing Cooper? Like, I don't understand what's happening here by him going to the front, but it was just like nothing all that extravagant when it came to how fast they were running. It was 67s, 66s, and everyone was in it. We got to the point where it was like 2K to go, still no one had made a move. Then we're like, oh, all right, maybe they'll go at the mile. No one had gone at the mile. 1K to go. Still nobody's, like, really getting after it.
It was surprising.
It was surprising. And so then it's just a mad dash in the final 600 or so meters, I think, is when really, like, the pace started to pick up. And Cole wasn't up in the front at that point. Cole ends up slipping from first place to 7th place from 4,200 to 4,600. So with 2 laps to go, and has to do a lot of work in the final lap. And in the home stretch, miraculously, what happens? inside lane opens up, and Cole Hocker loves the inside lane, and that was just what he needed to get past Grant Fisher. And then it was Nico Young holding off a charging Drew Hunter, just like last year's 10K, which is, gutting for Drew, but for Nico, like, it was it's another team, and again, like, this is a strong trio that we're sending. We thought, I guess, for a while there was like, will the big three hold? Like, because they're so good at this event. And Grand Blanc's like had a rough one today, ends up finishing 13th. Cooper Tier falls short, ends up 5th. Parker Wolf 6th. But all in all, I think a lot of us probably had our doubts about Cole being able to make both of these teams. Like, he'd been running so many 800s and like nothing all that flashy in the 5K. I guess come a championship, like, he's gonna double at the World Championships. If a race like this plays out, like, he's
confirmed, like he said he's going to double, or
yeah, I mean the schedule allows for it.
Yeah,
when like Jakob does the 15 5K double, so I think like this is a very similar situation to Jakob, where it's like not anything flashy and crazy fast, but you can't leave it to a guy with this much speed.
I think it was a brilliant move to go to the front, because who really, when you are the reigning Olympic gold medalist, you demand and deserve a lot of respect.
Yeah.
People respect you. Cole Hocker goes to the front. I'm not really, I don't know, I'm not going to go in front of him. And he holds it to splits that are benefiting him. And to be able to do that for so long was incredibly impressive to me. I thought it was the smartest move of the day.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you've seen him do it in 1500s, where he will just hit the front and he'll just run, 60s in the 15, right? It's him staying out of trouble, right? You don't need to worry about being in the pack, people are making moves going front to back, or if they're wide in the outside of lane 1 or lane 2, he's running the shortest distance and he's staying out of trouble, and he's just clicking off a manageable pace for him. It surprised me that day.
I just saw Noah Lyles posted, and so I was like, what did he say?
Chris is like, boring.
I had to open it up. It was like, Noah Lyles made a post. And I was like, what did he say?
He's like, let me listen to music. But
anyway.
But yeah, he's just like, had headphones on, put his music on.
He's had enough of us.
Yeah, I'm done. But yeah, he ran a perfect race. And I was surprised to see guys like Grant Fisher, Graham Blanks just leave it to a kicker's race with the best kicker on the planet. Nico Young, I'm trying to remember the race back in my head. It looked like Nico Young made the hard move with like about 500, like 450 to go. Like he kind of made the first move. Grant slots in there right after him in the perfect spot, and Cole at that point is like, look, I've clearly got a lot left, and this is kind of what I do. Drew Hunter, I mean, man, the guy almost, and if you
almost,
but still, it was a fantastic race for him, right? Nobody had, Drew Hunter barely missing out on a team.
Kicking down with Nico, Grant, and Cole.
Yeah, and we keep talking about like the big three, right? And throughout this whole championship, you're seeing the stars, right, go home devastated. You see Yards didn't make it.
Hoey
didn't make it. Addy Wiley, like all the ones who are like the fastest in the fields are coming up short. Another super fun race to watch. Must be super satisfying for Cole after he's had so many races where he just hasn't won. Right?
Yeah.
When you're at this level, it is hard to win races, even when you're the Olympic champ. And so he made the team in the 15, but he didn't win. And this is a winner. To come back, you're at Hayward. You're the Oregon boy, winning the 5 must be incredibly gratifying for him.
Yeah. Again, the 5K at the World Championships is an interesting one because you do get a great mix of like, all right, you get the 10K endurance, the guys with the aerobic engines, and then also mix in the 1500 guys who will double back and have that. I mean, in a lot of cases, 330, 327 closing speed, anywhere in that range. So it's.
Yard should have probably hopped in that 5.
Yeah, he should have. Yeah. But that's the problem. It's like for Yard, like he's got the version to the 5K where it's more like I feel like it's a situation where maybe someone like Dathan uses it as like a tool. It's like, hey, if you run really well in this mile and in this 15, you don't have to run the 5K indoors. And he's like, okay, and he runs his best all throughout the year, but then you lose him mentally to check in on like a good opportunity to make a team because he probably could have made that team. I
mean, yeah, you can never say like he probably would have made the team because of
we don't know.
We don't know.
But it seems he's on the Diamond League final.
He's on the Diamond League final plan.
Yeah.
And in this one, I guess like
also crazy. Grant Fisher is now leaving this weekend with no title. He lost the 10 and the 5.
Great
right?
thing to point out.
He's second in both, and I think everybody is like, man, it's going to be so hard to beat Grant Fisher, and he goes home. Like, yes, he's on the team in both events, but still, he's thinking, I want to win both events.
Do you think there was a mistake that he made in this race, or not really? I mean, aside from leaving the inside lane open for him.
I mean, yeah,
that could be.
There is. I mean, yes, I think if with how strong Grant is, that I am surprised that he didn't go to the front, whether it's 1,200 out or a mile out, and just kind of push the pace a bit. Mm-hmm. But he did almost, he almost had it, but we don't know what, and maybe because you were watching a lot of guys go to the front and push and try and run the legs off these guys, and they're missing out in the team. I wonder if you're Grant Fisher, also Nico Young got an unbelievable kick. He's run 12:44 this year. He's like, I might not be able to run away from these guys, but I do trust my kick. I believe in it, and I'm not gonna do the same thing that the other guys this meet have done.
Yeah, I think like leaving the inside lane. Now that I rewatch it here, Eric, like it's not Grant's fault that space opened up because he was trying to get past Nico, and it's actually when Nico starts to fade that's when the inside lane opened up, and Grant like just keep running straight, like don't make the move to cover into lane 1. But yeah, I mean,
and looking back, like Cooper Tier was very close to making that team.
Yeah, it was Parker up until Wolf the final.
Parker Wolf is there. I mean,
20 meters.
Yeah, but
Nico had to lean for this one.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking about last year, and Cole wanted to double last year again too, right? But he was, I can't remember what he finished in last year's 5, but he just wasn't a factor. But there's more rounds.
Well, yeah, there's more rounds.
There's more rounds in both the 15 and the 5.
This setup was great for him, yeah. But it's not going to be the setup at Worlds.
So that's why I was wondering if like it's guaranteed.
He'll go 3 rounds of the 15 and then 2 rounds of the 5K at the World Championships.
Yeah, he will.
Do you think if Cole is at his best, has a shot at gold in the 5K?
Gold. I mean, if it's a sit and kick, but
let me try and find the winning times of the 5K at the World Championships over the last couple of years. But keep. I guess.
Do I think Cole has a shot at a gold in the 5K? Possibly.
Yeah.
We don't know because the 5K guy is Jakob Ingebrigtsen. If Jakob is healthy, no, he doesn't have a shot at goal. I mean, if Jakob's coming in even at 90%, with how Jakob looks in a 5K, he's unbeatable in a 5K.
Budapest 13:11 race, Eugene 13:09 race, Doha was a 12:58 race. In that air conditioning.
Yeah. He's also gonna have 3 rounds of a 1500, which is gonna take a lot. I mean, he's gonna run like 3:30, close to it for
3 rounds.
3 rounds.
Have a
in like
prelim
5
of the
days.
5K.
Yeah, because the 15 has gotten so fast that
there's
even
so
looking
much,
at the 23 Budapest medalists were Jakob Mohamed Katir. I mean, well, that guy had a little extra help. And so, I mean, like, he wasn't all that phased. But so this was also after the 15, but it wasn't a crazy fast race. I'm just like...
He alluded to something in his post-race interview, and I don't really have the insight. He said, this year's been a struggle. Like, it's been challenging, and I'm just curious. We've seen him falter in some situations that look like a layup to the traditional Cole Hocker firing on all cylinders. I'm curious if there is an injury or if it's coming off of Olympic champion and all of the pressure and feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders and having to reorient yourself, when you weren't necessarily the favorite before. I'm curious. I would be interested to learn more about what exactly is going on, because that would inform, I think, where we can like direct our fandom. If it's just like, hey, I really, just needed to get through US championships and I needed to get the monkey off my back and make sure I got on the team. Who knows? We could see him running lights out 15 in Tokyo. We're just not sure. I'm not ready to write him off for the 1500 yet.
No, definitely.
No. Yeah,
obviously, you can't write him off. The Olympic come down it's absolutely a real thing. You achieve what everybody it's the absolute pinnacle of the sport, and then to come down from that and be like, I have to start this all back up. I'm back to fall base training, and who knows if I'm ever, gonna get back to that. It's very hard to do that. I mean, I think about Centro after 2016, his 2017.
Yeah.
He had a rough 2017 too. And being around him at that point, you see what it's like to have all of the expectation, all of the pressure on you after achieving an Olympic gold medal. So. I'm sure there's a lot of things going on. So this was a fantastic weekend for him.
And then you have that answer to your question, I guess, Mac, that he posed yesterday, which is like, when has Cole won a race since the Olympics? And he hadn't until today. So today's first win since the Paris Olympics. This is a long time.
Happy for him.
But then, Cole's PR in the 5K is 12:58.
Yes, I think 57. But I mean, he's a 7:24, so 3K guy. He's clearly got the strength. You don't beat these guys today without having some serious strength.
There's 11 guys in the world who have broken 12:50 so far this season. Some of them won't be contesting this event at the World Championships, but Jakob's not on this list. Like, he'll be tough to beat if he's fully healthy. Andreas Almgren, Binyam Mahari, that young kid from Ethiopia, who he's really good. He's not doing the 10K. He's only in the 5K. So I'm looking out for him. I think Hago Skrebberek got picked for the 5K, but Grant beat him, throughout Grand Slam track. Yomif is not running. Graham's not running this now, I guess. So, yeah, I mean, there's a chance.
Also, interesting strategy by Graham. I wonder because it's like it's getting slow. It's slow.
Yeah, he could have taken it. He could have been the guy to take it, right? Yeah.
And if you're Graham looking around, you're like, do I really think I have the wheels that everybody else does? And I'm sitting and trusting my kick, but it's incredibly hard to put yourself out there and feel like you're the sacrificial lamb, and push the pace. And
especially when you're
sitting on you.
And especially when you're kind of buried. Like, we didn't really see Graham very much during the race. Like, he was kind of in the rail, tucked many, many bodies back. Like, that would have been pretty aggressive to find his way to the front. Like, I think that would have had to have been a pre-planned situation for him to take that risk.
Yeah, I just would have thought, like, okay, if it's really slow and it's a true sit and kick race, at 3 laps to go, be in the front and run a couple 60s or something. And you're not gonna get them off of you, but you will at least lessen the kick of these guys.
Give yourself a chance.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's shift gears over to the women's 5K. where this one was also very similar, where like no one really was blasting it from the front. Very bunched up, lots of people in contention, a lot of people doubling back from the 10K. So you saw, Taylor Rowe in it, you saw Wayne Colati in it. And then there was a little bit of separation between Shelby Houlihan, Elise Cranny, Gisette Andrews, Wayne Colati, Bailey Hertenstein, and Carissa Schweizer. Like that pack took off, and you look at that group and like more than half of them are very accomplished 1500 runners. With very fast PBs that, okay, like this is signature U.S. Championship women's 5K. Like it's going to come down to an all-out sprint over the last 800 or so. And Bailey Hertenstein, who popped off a couple of weeks ago at the Sunset Tour, ran a really good, was it like 14:48 or something like that to get the standard. She maybe not on a ton of people's radars coming into it. Is working with Coach Pete Julian at the Union Athletics Club in Boulder. She ends up being the one to send it and try and make the big pass into the belt lap, and just like took a lot out of her because she was cooked by the time it was 100 meters to go. Basically, like it tired the legs out to their limit because she was walking that final 50 meters essentially. Enough for Shelby Houlihan to kick past her, Elise Cranny, and Josette Andrews, who's the fastest woman of this field this year, and who I've kind of been just like continually underscoring, like this is her best chance to make the team. The best chance is a layup. Almost misses it. Manages to pass Hertenstein and then holds off Wayne Colati, takes the third spot. So it's a cool story from the OAC, I think, Aisha, that you pointed out to me, of like people who have missed teams in the past, like a Sage Herta, a Jose Andrews, making their first team. A little bit surprising for a favorite like Yared not to make the team. So very mixed weekend for the OAC. For Elise Cranny, that's now she'll do the double at the World Championships. So this is what she did at the Tokyo Olympics, I'm pretty sure. And now gets the month to really buckle down and train, because we haven't seen that version of her that has been kind of like, okay, you look at this field and you think Elise is the favorite. Like that hasn't been the case. And then for Shelby, this is her first team outdoors since coming back from the 4-year doping suspension. So now she's made the indoor team and the outdoor team. She came away with the silver medal in the 3K during the indoor season. And so, yeah, I mean, it was a 15:13 race, and she's a 1,500 meter like runner at her core. So not all that shocking for her to be one of the contenders to make this team. But so she's on it. And yeah, I mean, it's not like, I guess it's an experienced group of just racers, but now they all get to take on, the best in the world. And this is one of those events that on the global stage is just very fast. Ethiopia is going to have a really strong group that, there's a slew of Ethiopians who'd like run 14:30s like on the casual. And then Kenya's going to field Beatrice Chebet, the world record holder, and Faith Kipyegon on that team. So there's those two.
Faith's gonna double.
Faith's gonna double.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is
Faith's the reigning world champ. Yeah.
Stacked event.
Yeah. Which let me look up and see like how the Americans did last year. But yeah, speaking on the
incredibly fast event.
Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah. The level of the 5K globally is so high. I mean, a woman broke 14 minutes for the 5K. Like there is a bit of a delta from the American women to the American men in the ability to compete in those global finals for medals. Like this is a growth area, right? Really, really, really happy to see Elise Cranny come away with 2 teams. I think we've seen her
she
racing.
Had a really good weekend.
A really good weekend. We saw her racing in Grand Slam, not really looking like herself, and clearly going through some hard stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And changing coaches. She's spoken about.
Reds.
Red S, and how challenging it is to overcome that, and recovery and training appropriately and fueling appropriately, and how difficult of a calculus that can be sometimes. And I think this is a big story of resilience to see someone who has really struggled openly and publicly, and didn't have the benefit of being able to necessarily pull out of the races. It's she's a racer in Grand Slam. She couldn't hide. So I have a lot of respect for what it must have taken for her to climb back and find herself on 2 teams.
Last year at the Paris Olympics, the Americans went 10, 11, and 14th. Do you think that this group can do better than that? And the top American last year was Carissa Schweizer, who was 10th, and it was a 14:45 race. I remember how slow this one was. Well, actually, not slow. Fast. It was fast. 14:28 was the winning time. Carissa was 10th, Elise was 11th, and then Whitney Morgan was 14th. Does this crew do better than that this year?
I think it's really similar.
That's our barometer, I feel like.
That's the barometer. I think a good goal would be all 3 in the final.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me to see them do better than 10th, 11th, and 14th. But yeah, they're going to need to make that final first.
Yeah.
This was an interesting race. Shelby ran smart. Stayed just out of trouble, and
the decision to just do one event paid off.
The decision to do one event definitely paid off, and this was clearly the right event. She moved at late, right, and just this is and kicked and just we've always seen Shelby with a good kick. She did the same thing today and got a really, really big win for her. Elise had a big weekend. And then Josette, man, like you really feel for her. This is her first team. And lot of, because everybody's saying like this is her team to make, this is her team to make.
Me specifically.
You specifically. Yeah. It's like and it's so she's got a lot of pressure on her, right? It's
I'm sorry.
Man, apologize to her. So really, really happy for her. Really excited to see that. Huge weight off her shoulders.
Yeah.
And I mean, OAC has had, when you see a guy like Yard not make the team, really rough. That's really rough. But then today, both her and Sage making their first teams, it's a nice bounce back for that.
Yeah, and then some people pointed out like, it was weird to see Alicia Monson so far back. I mean, it was incredible to see Alicia Monson even line up for this race because she had been out for so long. And I guess, Aisha, even you speaking and sharing about how like you had the same surgery. So for her to even run that 5K in California and then run this race, like I don't think the expectation was for her to make the team, just get back to the big stage.
Alicia Monson just went through an incredibly traumatic injury and recovery. And there have only been a handful of women at this level that have had a complete medial meniscal root tear, which is not a cute little meniscus tear. It's where your meniscus like pops off your bone and they got to drill through your bone and sew it back on. And for her to even make it back to this stage and this level, and she had a really great race in LA where she really surprised herself a few weeks ago. Unfortunately, the odds are in the favor of retirement. Like if you look at who's had this injury and who's been able to come back, like it's not a big group. So for Alicia to be here and to even be sticking her nose in it and to have, positive steps of momentum, like this has been a really, really long road for her. I'm sure she's celebrating. I'm sure, of course, like you have the perfect scenario for your career and the perfect scenario for every race built up, but unfortunately that's like not her story currently, and this is such a positive step forward that Alicia could win the dang thing next year. Like this is her start. We are seeing the very beginning of her comeback.
Yeah, I think it's because it's like, oh, she's not as fit and as fast as she was when she was winning and dominating this event. But it's like, no, it's probably just great fuel to the fire, right? Just to line up and be like, still go through the motions, get the feel for a U.S. championships. So when she is healthy and she is back to being near her best, that it doesn't feel. It's like, oh, I remember I did it last year, and it's just a good step forward. And like you said, another step back to being where she was.
It's funny how I'm looking at these times and like it being a 15-13 race, like, and both also like with the 1500, like how much these events miss the presence of Elias St. Pierre to just make these things hurt and fast, because they're totally different races from one year over the next.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, obviously, it's fun to watch the fast races. It's fun to see people pulling and things like that. But the tactical championship races, it's fun, and it's also the guys have been running fast, right?
Yeah.
Like in the 8 and the 15, and it's usually the guys are chilling, and now it's been a bit of a role reversal.
Yeah. All right. I think, does that do it for the distance races? I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, we'll have Anderson Emerole join us now. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess Tokyo is the next time you guys get to see all of us together on a mic.
See you then.
See you then.
All right. Anderson Emerole coming over now. We led off the podcast, Anderson, by talking about the men's 200. And so we touched on a lot of the background on the Noah and Kenny beef and drama.
Yeah.
We touched on how the race played out. And so give us the report. What did they have to say in the mix zone?
So first person to come through is Kenny B. And y'all already broke down like what happened on the.
Yeah.
Okay. So Kenny B came through pretty quick. I mean, most of the athletes these were all finals. Most people were taking a while doing victory laps and like, doing stuff with fans. Kenny B came through very quick. Immediately, you can kind of see on his face, he starts to like maybe walk by a little bit, like, not looking at the media, but, we call out like, hey, Kenny, you down to stop? Like, obviously we want to. So
Big crowd.
very, very big crowd, very big crowd. And, he stops. Very, very calm Kenny. So I think the initial question was about the race or something, but then we dive in. Like, what happens? Like, specifically, what did he say? What did Noah say? What did you say?
Everyone in unison from the clip I saw asked, what did he say?
Yeah, what did he say? Because we wanted to know. And so Kenny, he was kind of hot a little bit. He was feeling like, listen, it's actually not even like what he said. It was more so what he did. And he in terms of Noah Lyles. And, it seems like Noah turning to him afterwards, like as he crossed the line, and then also turning around and like, putting his arms out. It seems that is what kind of got to Kenny a little bit. Because like Noah's essentially bragging like, hey, I got this win. And it's very similar to like 2022 when Noah just passed Ariadne in.
Yeah.
So I think that's what got to Kenny a little bit, because he was saying essentially like, listen, I had to run through, whatever it is, 5-6 rounds of the 100 and the 200. You didn't have to do that this weekend. You only ran one round of the 100 and two rounds of the 200. So he's saying like, listen, you can brag all you want, but like, come on, man. Like, I went through the gauntlet of all these rounds.
You didn't get me fresh, basically.
Exactly. And you barely beat me. And again, this is like what Kenny is kind of like breaking down. And he also understands like Noah has a different personality. He's going to be boisterous. He's going to, be out there, outgoing. But he's like, listen, like, calm it down. And he specifically even said like, I mean, he did curse a little bit too.
Did,
like he was kind of amped up, and he said like, "Listen, Noah has my number. Like he can call me, and we can like clear things up. Like whatever. Like this was one of the first times that I feel Kenny was really kind of like amped up in the situation.
How funny that the day after I said like, remember how I wanted all this to happen, and then I was like, I'm okay with him just letting his performance speak for himself. But then.
I mean,
we got it.
We got like, I mean, I don't know if we've ever, sure, sprinters get like hot and they get excited, but I don't know if we've ever seen like this kind of situation on the track.
Do you think they were going to throw hands? Like they got like it for a second, I thought.
For a second, because it was like, they got, like Kenny came up to Noah and like put his hand out to like give him a pound to like, hey, like it's all good. Noah didn't, respond. And it was like, hold on, like, this seems more contentious. It almost seems like there was other stuff that we don't even know about.
Well, so we do know about it because
Okay.
I explained it on the
look.
podcast a little bit of just sort of like what the history is here. And so I did explain to them like the Track Spice history.
Okay.
And this is what, like, I'll play it. Did you see this clip already? The one that's out there?
I didn't see the NBC clip, no.
So this is what we played on NBC. Let me see if I could rewind it.
Because, yeah, it seemed very contentious.
All right, so the conversation is still going on here. And Noah,
You're right. I expected a call. No, I'm saying if you got a problem, I expected a call. That's all I'm saying.
you know what? You're right. You're right. Let's talk after this. Okay. All right. So,
My flesh.
Wow.
Yeah. So you got a problem. I expected a call.
Okay, so that makes sense because you said that in the mix zone. I didn't know that. I did not see that clip. That's
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That's kind of wild.
So I think it does have to do with the Twitter stuff.
Okay.
And all that. So I think, well, that's my assumption. I
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
say it
yeah.
for a fact. But, all right. So then Noah comes through.
Noah comes through and he said explicit instructions from my coach, no comment. And people asked, I think, 2 or 3 times, and he was like, no comment, no comment. So he didn't, want to. And I think there's a slight difference where, like I said, Kenny B came through immediately into the mix zone and was like talking. Noah, he came down, but there was like, I think Melissa, Christian Coleman, there was like a couple people there. And so he waited on the side and there was like, Coach Lance Brahman. So they were talking beforehand. So it's clear that like he had at least a little bit of time to like gather his thoughts, like, break down like, okay, what is it that I want to actually speak about? So he only spoke about his race and he was just like, no comment.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I feel like this is really interesting because I was thinking about any other times. So in 2019, this never played out on the track or anything. This was like Twitter stuff, but like there was a time we saw like Noah Lyles versus Christian Coleman kind of bubbled up a little bit. There was like a little back and forth.
From the first time that didn't Christian beat Noah at
Yes, in one of the
Shanghai or
one
something
of the
like that?
Diamond Leagues. Yeah, there was like he beat Noah and there was some words exchange online. But then nothing ever came of it. And like, they were cool. They went to Worlds that year and won the 4x1 together. And we've seen like other situations that have gone back and forth. But again, this is one of the first times like on the track even with Fred Curley and Noah, they do trash talking all the time, but they've never like confronted each other on the track. It's been like whatever. So this was very interesting to see. Again, I know that sprinters are like the tough bravado, like whatever, but like to see it on the track was
it finally reached a tipping point today.
Yeah.
All right, so that was the drama of the men's 200. So when you look at this, and we spoke about this a little bit, but I want your thoughts shared on the show. But overall, in the landscape of the 200, Tebogo has the world leading time.
Well, no.
Oh.
So Tebogo had it from Prefontaine. T-Mars McCallum slightly improved it at the meet in Tennessee. But now Noah has a world lead at 19. Yeah, because Tebogo had run 19.76. T-Mars ran 19.73. But now you have Noah 19.63 and Kenny 19.67.
Does this feel like the slowest that the 200 has been going into a championship in recent years?
Possibly. It actually,
which makes it wide open among the top contenders. Because remember, 19.4 or 19.6 has been dropped like at U.S. Championships in 2022.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Arian and Noah were dropping those fast times.
Yeah, I think, it probably is the slowest. And the thing is, Noah has always run like 19.5, even leading up to USA's. But I think the thing is, Noah, based on this race, I think he is, I want to say by far, but he is a clear 200-meter favorite. And you have to think about how he dealt with injury all season. Like he was sitting out, dealt with the injury, finally came back to run at the Monaco Diamond League against Letsile, who's the Olympic champion, and he ran, 19.8. So he ran a very strong performance again against the guy who had just dominated at Prefontaine Classic.
Yeah.
Now he comes here, runs 100, drops out after a couple rounds or after the first round, wins the 200 against Kenny B in a world-leading performance. So he took down Letsile, the Olympic champion. He takes down Kenny B, the Olympic silver medalist. At this point, it's like he's done what he needed to do to reassert himself as like, okay, I'm back. Like, I am the guy. That's how I look at it.
I guess I was so caught up in the drama of what took place that I totally overlooked the actual time result.
Yeah.
1963.
Yeah, world lead.
So
at this point, it's like Noah is healthy and going into Worlds. I mean, he said that I think he's going to run a few Diamond Leagues afterwards, through before then. But it's like, I mean, like coming off injury, he's now the world leading guy and he's beat out the guys who are the true competitors in the 200 for him. And, we saw Arian Knighton, who got 4th at the Olympics. He didn't make the team. So sure, anything can happen, but it's hard for me personally to say that Noah Lyles isn't in the driver's seat in the 200 going into the world champs.
Again, this is another event where today everyone's like, all right, I got to be at my best at USA's, and everyone was dropping season's best all around.
It's crazy.
For most of the field.
Absolutely crazy.
Let's touch on the
Yes.
women's
Well,
200.
can I say
Yeah.
one actual thing before that?
Oh, yeah, give some kudos to Robert Gregory. I guess.
Well, yes, Robert Gregory. Shout out to Robert Gregory. I did pick him for my 200 team. I'll brag a little bit about that. I see Paul in the background with the Gator Chomp. So he's on the team, and Courtney Lindsay makes 2 teams because Noah has a wild card.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So he's there. So 2 things, Ariane Knight and Christian Coleman. I spoke to Ariane on the side. He didn't come through the mix zone, but he was saying he's been dealing with a hamstring injury. So even though his case has been going on this year, that wasn't why he was sitting out. It was really just a hamstring injury. So he came back, ran 5th place. But Christian Coleman, so I did get a chance to speak with him. I want to give kudos to Christian Coleman. He kind of tapped me on the shoulder. He was like, "Yo, let's like talk."
Just you?
He did, and yeah. So that was, again, kudos to Christian Coleman. I mean, other people eventually did come, but he wanted to speak about all the things. So we spoke a little bit about the race, and then he did open up about the Sha'Carri Richardson situation.
So what's the deal with that?
So he said, he broke down what happened at the airport. It's been reported on, but he was very clear about, he reiterating he didn't want her to go to jail. He feels like it, that situation never should have happened. He never wanted it to play out like that. He really wishes the best for Sha'Carri Richardson. And he started to speak very highly of her, really saying like, listen, she is one of the best athletes in the world. Like, we literally train together, and, I see what she does in practice, and I know that she is extremely talented. Just giving her so much praise, but acknowledging that, like, emotions were high, and, like, we're all humans and we're going to react to situations differently. So we shouldn't necessarily or he's feeling like people shouldn't come at Sha'Carri, and they should have some understanding. But I guess it speaks to Christian as like a person, because he never is going to come out and like bash anybody,
right.
But he was very open and upfront about, again, what happened, why he didn't think it should have played out as such, and then also just like giving praise to Sha'Carri. So
yeah, so that full interview is up on
already up on CITIUS Mag YouTube channel, so check that full thing out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Overall for Coleman, this is a weekend where like he ran season's best, I think, in both events.
In both events, yeah, 986.
It's just not there right now.
Yeah,
200 it was always lower chances of making that team.
Exactly.
100 just off, and like.
But he was pretty positive. He was actually in pretty good spirits. Just the idea that first year with a new coach, with Dennis Mitchell, first full year, and he was positive that things kind of came together, and he's optimistic about what the future still holds. Like, you can come to USA's and run some fast times. It's like, you still got a future.
Did he make the relay pool?
He's in the relay pool, yeah. So he said, that's going to be the goal of his moving forward, going to Tokyo, helping out the relay wherever he can. So, yeah.
I did the panel last night with Trayvon Bromell, and he's hoping to get on the relay pool. So
that'll be interesting.
What's your relay order right now?
I don't know
these results of USA's.
Oh man, I haven't really thought through. I guess I would say, okay, based on what the convo with Trayvon yesterday, I feel like we can see a situation with Christian Coleman, Trayvon Bromell running second, Kenny B running third, and then Noah Lyles anchor. That would be an interesting situation. But I could see that. Or you can flip Trayvon and Kenny B for second and third.
Which Trey wants third leg.
He wants third leg. I know Courtney Lindsay, he made both teams in the 100, so he can be somewhere, because he was running on the Olympic squad last year for the relay. So it's tricky.
Yeah. I can't wait for your video when you ultimately break down like who makes the team and what the potential relay orders
might be. So yeah. 200 on the women's side.
Melissa Jefferson winning. I just keep coming back to the clip of Sonia Richards-Ross at, I think it was in Philly. It's like, what are the big things? And she goes, Melissa. And it's like, this has been a big weekend for Melissa Jefferson. 2184 personal best to win the U.S. title. And then Anavia Battle was second, 2213. And now the way this race played out was a long wait to try and figure out who was going to get that third spot, because Olympic champion Gabby Thomas did not look like herself at all in that first round.
First round at all. She was from the gun. She was out of it. Coming off the curve, she was out of it in that first round. Like, I was for a second like, Gabby's not going to advance. Like, she's not going to do enough.
And it looked reminiscent of the London Diamond League race from last year, where she basically, powered her way in the final 20, 30 meters to pull off. Well, she pulled off the win in London, and then this time around, she pulled off the queue to just get through. This time around, separate. The third, fourth, and fifth were separated by 0.002 seconds.
Yeah, literally thousandths of a second, 2,000ths of a second.
Gabby ends up running 22.197, takes that third spot, assures her spot at the World Championships. Brittany Brown, fourth, 22.198. So the Olympic bronze medalist, not on the team for the World Championships. Then Mackenzie Long, 22.199, ends up fifth.
Yeah.
The U.S. and obviously this popular theory about the Diamond League wild card.
Yes.
So what do you think here?
This is interesting where you have well, let me even first off, I just want to give props to Melissa with like the idea that she ran 21.84 seconds, doubles up in the 100 and the 200 to win both at USA's, improves her personal best, justifies and proves herself as a true overall sprinter. Like amazing performance for Melissa, and I think it just continues the 2025 season that we've seen from her where it's like the coming out party of like Melissa is here. Melissa is a true gold medal threat across the board. So huge kudos to Melissa Jefferson Wooden. So Anavia Battle in second, and this is where the Diamond League conversation kind of comes into fruition, where Anavia Battle has been dominating on the Diamond League circuit. She hasn't really run very fast, but here she gets a season's best to get second place and secure her spot. She has a very good chance because she's won every single Diamond League this year to go to the Diamond League final and actually win that, which would then open the door for Brittany Brown to get a spot because she finished fourth place here. So theoretically, and also Gabby Thomas could go to the Diamond League and win. Also, Mackenzie Long could go to the Diamond League and win, who I think Anavia or Mackenzie might have a better shot. I feel like Anavia would want to continue her season and run on the Diamond League circuit, but Mackenzie Long now has more motivation of like, okay, if I win the Diamond League, I'm in Tokyo.
Yeah.
I'm in Tokyo. And she's been looking good. She ran 21 seconds early this year. She ran a very good semifinal. I think she was the leader of the in the heat. She ran 22-1. And so now I think it was just a slight underperformance, but she's looking good, where it's possible to see her go to the Diamond League and actually win it.
Based on the people who are, so Anavia Battle and Amy Hunt from the UK, they're already qualified for the Diamond League final.
Yeah.
So that leaves, what, 6 other spots?
Couple other spots.
6 or 7 other spots. But when I look at Rashidat, Mackenzie Long, Dean Asher-Smith, Jenna Prandini, like those are the names right now in contention for the Diamond League final. I mean, Sharika, Julian Alfred, they're on the outside so far, but they'll probably run over the next couple months.
Yeah.
But just, to your point, Mackenzie Long's momentum right now is so much better.
So much better
Than everyone else.
Yeah. She dealt with a little injury at the top of the year. And I think even the reason why she ran 2 Diamond Leagues this year, she just hasn't performed well, but that was while she was kind of coming back from her injury. I think now this is just going to be another layer of motivation where it's like, all right, I got to lock in. Vernon was even saying, like, because he missed the team in the 400, he's like, listen, I got to go, peak for the Diamond League final. So I think Mackenzie may have like a similar situation where she wants to make sure she gets on that team. She gets on that team.
Listen, I think that the decision by World Athletics needs a little bit of get some kudos here of like, if this is going to be the thing going forward, it's totally changed how like spectacular the Diamond League final is going to be and how high stakes. Like now we're invested. And now the points actually do matter.
They
because,
matter,
like,
right?
For the longest time, we're just like, no one actually pays attention or is aware of like the Diamond League point standings. And now post national championships is when people are going to start paying attention.
Yeah. And it's like, it's interesting because now you have this chase situation because usually it's the Diamond League final from the year prior that qualifies for Worlds. But now, like you said, athletes are going to have to go over to Europe to go to try and get points to secure their spot in the Diamond League final, which is about 2 weeks before Worlds, to try and get, a wild card if it pertains to them. So this is good. This is interesting.
Looking at the big picture, Melissa Jefferson Wooden and at 2184, like, does that put her also, I mean, like, we're going to get Melissa versus Julian Alfred in both of these events.
Both events. I think Melissa and Julian gold medal favorites in the 100. I think Julian in the 200 is looking a little more like a little up there. She ran 21.7 into a headwind at the London Diamond League, Julian Alfred. Melissa, 21.8 clearly shows she's more than capable of getting better and better. And we know she's going to get better at the Tokyo World Championships, but there's still a little bit of a gap, I feel, as it relates to the 200. So TBD on how Melissa progresses.
And we're kind of out on like Sharika Jackson.
Not, I wouldn't say out it, but she just hasn't looked as great. And even based on what she's done in the 100, it's still TBD on like what. I mean, it'd be tough for me to see like her back in like the 21.4s and like what she did, back then. So. Yeah.
And then the big question mark will be Gabby Thomas.
Gabby Thomas. So Gabby revealed in the mix zone that she's been dealing with an Achilles injury over the past few weeks. So she hasn't been able to train properly the way that she wanted to. She's been going out to LA to get treatment. I think just in the past week, like a week ago, she said that that's when she finally was able to feel ready enough to be able to compete at USA's. But she even said that it's not fully like healed, like she's still dealing with the Achilles injury. So TBD on how things look. I mean, clearly, 22.20 is not like, all right, I'm gonna get a gold medal or even
to
podium.
do that on a bum Achilles.
To do that, it's a big step. But but she acknowledges, the thing about Gabby is she acknowledges and realizes the tough task that she has ahead of her, where she spoke about how she's coming off the Olympic high, not only winning 3 gold medals in the 4x1, 200, and 4x4, but all the other things. Like, again, in the interview, she was even like, I was on doing magazines, I was doing interviews, like all these kinds of things. So she acknowledges the high that she's coming off of with the Olympics. And then to get this injury, it's like, all right, I need to lock in 100 times more to make sure I'm ready for the World Championships. So it's going to be tough.
All right, let's go to the 400 hurdles.
Yes.
Women's first. Women's 400 hurdles. This one was easy.
Pretty chalk.
But Dalilah Muhammad, 52.65 for the win.
Yes.
You have to think she's reconsidering this whole retirement thing, but like you've brought up the fact that like she's trying her best to make this go out on top.
Yeah, she is locked in. She's locked in on retirement and locked in on like she is, and she's like set
She
on.
have a great retirement plan that like she set.
I know.
Forth. Yeah.
Like, but yeah. So she's locked in on that, but she's also locked in and focused on like finishing on top. Like she really seems focused on trying to not only get obviously a gold medal and on the podium again, but she even said that she wished she would have run a personal best here, which is like 50, I think it's like 51.5 is her personal best. It's like one of the fastest of all time. Like, but conditions, all those kind of things. But she is really, really focused on being the best that she can be in her final year. I was looking up she won the U.S. title in 2013. That was her first World Championship team and her first U.S. title, which is 12 years ago at this point.
Yeah, Cooper Lutkenhouse was 4 years old.
Which is crazy.
Wait, was he 4 years old? How long ago was that?
There was 12 years ago at this point. So yeah, like that's disgusting. So it's crazy. And I think also this might have been, I think either her fastest or second fastest time to win a USA. So the point is though, Dalilah is a generational talent, and now she's like defying the odds of what it means to be a veteran athlete. And she has a good shot to win. I'm gonna say it. She has a good shot to win gold. I know Femke Bol is like the class of the field, but like Dalilah Muhammad is like showing up. She's showing up. So, okay.
All in all, it's a strong squad with championship experience. So
yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, Anna Cockrell, silver medalist from last year. Jasmine Jones, 4th place from last year. I mean, this is a squad that, they all have the capabilities of getting on the podium. So we'll see.
I mean, again, without Sydney, it was a very fun race to watch. It was a true race because Cockrell Muhammad to the line was good. This was good. Men's 400 hurdles. Rai Benjamin, 46.89, just drops that on the rest of the field. And then from there, Caleb Dean, 48.45. He went hard. He was in the lead through the first 6 hurdles. And then from there, we started slipping second and then third, and then reeled it back in for second place and holds on for a spot to the World Championship team. I just saw that we got a DM from him on Instagram being like, "Where's my graphic?" And
wait, I missed him.
Yeah, it was like no graphics, like crying emoji. And I think like it's fine. I think we've got to pick it up.
Okay.
We're waiting on a better photo. I think just post it. Okay, it's up now. And then Chris Robinson was third. So
yeah,
the Bandit Unsponsor project actually ended up having like a couple of people making the team.
Kind of cooking.
Very cool.
Yeah. I mean, Caleb Dean was out like a rocket, and Rai Benjamin, he wasn't really as strong in the first half of the race, and it brought me back to what he was saying after the heats, where he was talking about some of the injuries and the being dinged up a little bit, but doing enough to win. Where I guess not the best race here, but he still runs 46.8, which is at an absolutely insane time and is just the class of the field. I mean, literally over a full second ahead of anyone else, actually a second and a half. So yeah, Rai Benjamin is the class of the field. I'm interested to see now what he does to regroup going towards the World Championships. If he's going to run some of these Diamond League races.
We know he hates going to Europe.
That's the thing. And he already did a whole tour of Europe. So he's like, does he go back or does he kind of like stay at home in LA?
Because we're what, 5 weeks out from Worlds?
Yeah, about 5.5, 6 weeks or so to Worlds. So
it's a good amount of time to just train.
Maybe he gets one race in, but again, I just think of the injuries that he's talking about, like how severe and how much he wants to like really push himself in a race. Because if he goes out there, he has to run 46 mid to low to compete with Dos Santos, who's going to always be out there, Warholm, who's always going to be out there. Like this event is very, very competitive. And even though Rai Benjamin is the Olympic champion, it's like there's no letting up. No letting up. It's not a guaranteed gold at all.
Yeah, it's a strong team, and like for Chris Robinson, the bet paid off on just going only in on this and not doing the 400 here. So very, very cool to see. Is this the first world outdoor team for
Caleb? Well, actually for both of them.
For both of them, right?
Both of them, yeah. Chris Robinson finished 4th place in either last year or 2023, I forget, when he was still in the NCAA. Caleb Dean last year coming out of the NCAA, he crashed out coming off hurdle 8. So yeah, this is his first team. I think that's why he went out so fast. He was like, it's all or nothing. Like this is my chance. This is my shot. I have to prove myself. Let me get on that team. So he's set. He's there.
Yeah. All right. So I think that does it for all. Oh nope. The
110 hurdles,
which like Grant ran the first round, chose not to do this, but you got beat by Cordell Tinch
in the second round. Yeah. So I mean, after that, I figured Grant was probably going to pull out of the final.
Yeah.
I mean, not to say, I mean, I think he's been holding steady in terms of his performances, but clearly he's not the Grant of previous years. I think he still has a lot of time to get back to that because we know when Grant is on, he's on. Like, he's unstoppable. So we'll see how Grant actually does fare, but this kind of was I don't know. I feel like it was a little bit of a surprise in terms of the results.
Yes.
Jacoby Tharp, NCAA champion, wins it in 13.01, a personal best, huge personal best for him, coming off what he did at NCAAs. Cordell Tinch second in 13.03, and then Dylan Beard 13.04 for 3rd place. That was a team.
Trey Cunningham got a great start.
He was excellent from the blocks.
But then Jamal Britt, like, crashed in the middle of it, and I think like that kind of, I don't know, because that's the point where I think Trey's race fell apart from there, and he ends up on the wrong side of 3rd and 4th.
And it's tough because Trey Cunningham definitely looked the most consistent throughout the entire season. He'd run 13 flat a couple times this year. He's beaten every single athlete in this field at least once in terms of the top guys. So Trey Cunningham, it really sucks. He missed the team every single year since 2022 when he got a silver here in Eugene.
Yeah.
So, and he was after the heats, he was, spoke with the media. He's like, I'm making this team. He was so confident. So it's kind of devastating to see him just miss this.
And there's no path via the Diamond League final
because Grant has the wild card, so he can't, unfortunately. There's
some people I guess we got to start thinking about, like, do I go start running for Turkey? Like, we're so loaded.
Imagine
Trey Cunningham representing Turkey.
Imagine that would be
Trey's
wild.
a proud American. He won't do that to us.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it for the sprints.
I think that's hold it
Anderson,
down.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Of course.
All right. We've got a field events recap to run through, the one and only, which for the podcast listeners out there, this morning we had our second group run of the U.S. Championships, and Paul told us ahead of time, he's like, one of these days I want to break 27 minutes in the 5K. And I was like, well, our group run is a good opportunity, but like there's plenty of people running that pace up in the front, in the middle of the pack. And Paul sent it today. He got it done. 26:35.
6.
I'll give you 35.
Okay.
All
Thanks,
right.
Chris.
26:36. How's your body feeling?
The body is tired, but not in as much pain as I thought it would be in. Also, doing it on the last day of USA's when I've been standing in a mix zone for like 5 hours a day wasn't a super great idea. But we're feeling all right.
Yeah. You got a lot of field events and throws that lifted your spirits a bit?
Yeah.
Okay, where do you want to
start?
start?
Say that. Well, we'll start with women's disc.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. The mix zone was a little hectic today, so I wasn't able to keep up with either the men's high jump or the women's pole vault or the men's triple jump as well as I should have been.
That's okay. We'll just focus on the throws then.
Okay, we'll just focus on the throws where Valerie Allman, she's so good. Makes it 27 wins in a row, 7 straight national titles, and she throws 71.45. Unfortunately, missed Val in the mix zone.
Whoa.
That was kind of devastating.
Well, there's good news for you. We'll be able to get a one-on-one in Tokyo.
Yeah. Well, I DM'd Zeb after, and I was like, Zeb, can you try and send her back into the mix zone? And he was like, oh, we're in team processing already. And I was like, okay. But I did say, I'm like, all right, well, I'll just talk to her in Tokyo then. But Val, so her and Zeb, obviously she threw 73.52 in Ramona earlier this year. But her and Zeb keep track of a bunch of different like categories of PB. And so that Ramona mark is her wind PB. And then she has like a neutral conditions PB, which was the American record before that when she threw 71.46 in 2021, I think. And then they have an in-stadium PB of 71.15, which was broken today in Hayward when she threw 71.45. A centimeter off the best mark she's ever had outside of Ramona. And I've watched a lot of Val's biggest throws. I don't think I've ever seen her this excited about a throw. She literally, the disc landed and she stepped out of the back of the circle and then was like high stepping into the sector for like 15 meters before finally running off to go hug Zeb and wait for the mark. It was awesome. The series she put together was just ridiculous. All 6 of her legal throws would have won the competition. This is the best. It's the best year of American women's discus ever, and she won the national title by 6.5 meters.
Jeez.
Val's incredible.
Loggy on the team.
She had the bye. She didn't need it, which is what I was hoping would be the case coming into this one. Not her best series, but she said her 64.86 in round 3 felt really comfortable. And then with the bye, she had the chance to just chase a big one in the last couple rounds and couldn't quite find it. This 3 and 4 is where it gets interesting.
Oh boy.
Because you had, like I said, this was a crazy deep year for American women's discus. But going into the 6th round, it wasn't that exciting outside of Loggy and Val because Veronica Fraley was sitting in 3rd at 60.31. Mm-hmm. But then 3 through 8 were separated by like 1.5 meters. So literally anything could have happened in that final round. And first, I'm trying to remember what the order was. I think first it was Gabby Jacobs, who literally took 2 years off from the sport in 2022 and 2023. Last year, she comes back to throwing, gets a nice PB in Ramona. I don't think she threw that well at trials. This year, unbelievable breakout for her. She's thrown 68 meters. She's thrown 65 mid. She goes 63.33, jumps from 7th up to 3rd, gets her a spot in Tokyo. And then Shelby Frank goes 61.11 to jump from 5th into 4th. She leapfrogged Veronica Fraley and gets that last spot because Loggy has the bye. Mm-hmm. Veronica had made the last 3 U.S. teams in a row, so kind of heartbreaking for her. But for Shelby Frank, it's really fun because her boyfriend is Marcus Gustafson, who did the same exact thing yesterday, where he moved from 4th into 3rd in the men's competition in round 6. She does the same exact thing today. I called them the clutchest couple in the United States because it's what they are. So yeah, women's disc was awesome. The
Val's
marks,
the heavy favorite for gold.
Yeah, I mean it's the same situation we were in heading into Eugene and Budapest. Actually, no, it's a little bit different. because coming into this one on a 27 meet win streak now, it's just a level of dominance we've never seen her at. And when you look at some of the Diamond Leagues this year, like she's shown resilience with some early bad marks and then still been able to bounce back and win meets by like 3 meters or something. There's always that chance you're going to have a Loggy or a Bin Feng that has the best day of their lives in Tokyo. But from everything Val has shown us since Budapest, she has it in her to respond to those marks no matter what. So I'm super excited for what that competition is going to bring.
Then men's shot put, these results, like crushing for me as like a huge Joe Kovacs fan.
Yeah.
This is not great. Where first world team without Joe since 2013.
Yep. And he had medaled at every single outdoor world championships he had been.
And this
Worlds
is the first
or
time
Olympics.
you have seen him throw in person?
I mean, I didn't actually go in the stadium at all.
But you're there.
Yeah,
I think you're a bad luck charm.
probably. I'm sorry, Joe. Gosh,
How are you
now I
gonna make
feel
this up to
bad.
him?
I don't know. I don't think he's gonna want to go on a cross country road trip with me anymore.
No, probably not. All right, but big day for our boy Tunde.
Yeah.
He's like, someone check on him. If he's not through team processing, he's at the Denny's here in Eugene, Oregon.
That is exactly what he said. He
said he's going to Denny's?
He said multiple times he's going to Denny's now.
We have that on camera?
Yeah.
Oh, we got to clip and post that too.
Okay. It's on the Polythrows Instagram account.
All right. Well, we're going to get that on the CITIUS Instagram collab with Tunde and with Polythrows.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for Josh, this was so much fun because he made the team. Obviously, he won bronze in 2022 in Eugene through his PB of 22:29 there. And then 2023, throws 22 again, makes it on the team for Budapest. Last year, a bit of a down year for him. And then it wasn't a great start to this season where he wasn't really competing all that much. And then when he was, the marks were okay. I think his season's best coming in was from the Ed Murphy Classic 3 weeks ago where he threw 21:43. And then he just smashes one in round 6, goes 22:47. Genuinely insane stuff. It's a 20 centimeter PB. It's he hadn't thrown 22 since USA's in 2023. And like it wasn't he was pretty far down on like the US top list this year just because of how good we have been from top to bottom this year. But like coming in, I'm like, this is a guy who his ceiling is right up there with any of the other guys in this field. And last year, he threw his season's best at trials and finished 5th. And I'm like, just don't sleep on Josh Awatunde coming into this one. Now, did that mean that I thought he would win the U.S. title and throw a 20 centimeter PB? No. But he did. And it was really cool.
Yeah. He's unsponsored still. Like I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean,
Someone get this man a contract.
I mean, if you're a shot putter and you like miss a single team, like it's tough if you aren't like Ryan or Joe or I mean Peyton's with A6 now, so that's really
Peyton with A6, second place, 22:35, season's best. Trip.
Yeah. Trip Pippery.
Third place.
The season of Trip continues. He's had such a great breakout this year. And like when he was in college at Texas, like he's one of the best collegiate shot putters ever. He made the U.S. team in 2022 for Eugene, but then didn't make the team for Budapest or Paris. And this year, he's found a new level. I believe he's working with a new coach this year. I know for a fact he's not working with Zeb anymore.
No.
I think this was the first year after he'd made that change. And I mean, he's broken 22 for the first time at pre. He PB'd for the first time in 4 years in early June when he threw 21:96, 21:88 at Ed Murphy, and now PB's again 22:29 here. Ridiculous series from him, going 21:92, 21:89, and 21:84. He got bronze at World Indoors. He was the national champion indoors, and he's shown time and time again these really big meets he can compete, and he's just putting these big marks out there every single time. And now you add Ryan. So Leo Fabri did throw 22.82 today
Yeah,
at
we
Italian
saw that.
Championships. Thanks for the
I saw the clip.
shout
I
out on
sent
that
it
one,
to you.
Chris.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's a pretty commanding world lead right now. And if Leo is back to the shape that we saw him in early last year, where he was throwing like 22.90 every weekend, basically, that's going to be really tough for anyone other than Ryan Krauser to beat. If he, depending, like he said, he's going to be in Tokyo, regardless. Ryan is going to be in Tokyo regardless, even if he has to just get like a cortisone injection in his elbow or something. But we don't know if he's going to compete before then and have like a tune-up. He opened the season last year at trials at 22.84. So he can open really big. He's Ryan Krauser. Obviously he can. But I don't know. Worlds is just going to be a bloodbath. Yes?
I have a question. Like, is there a protest I could file as a Joe Kovacs super fan that, like, all right, yeah, Ryan's the reigning world champion, but we all know he's very hurt right now, like, and he hasn't shown any sign of fitness or form. But Joe is the current Diamond League leader, and if he goes to the Diamond League final and wins it there, like, is there a way to petition to put Joe on the team, who is very clearly in good shape, over the reigning world champion?
I don't know why you're asking me this question.
But would you do that if you were in control?
No.
Why?
Because Ryan, he earned it. He's a defending world champion. Like, he earned his spot there. This isn't the UK athletics. We don't have discretionary spots.
All right, I just figured I'd
It's
ask.
top 3, and then world championship buys get precedence.
Okay. So you feel good about this team?
I feel good about this team, especially, even if Ryan isn't fully himself, like, Rajendra Campbell's not going to be there, so that's a big loss for people hoping to take medals away from the U.S. Peyton, like, he can be a 22.60 or 22.59, like we saw last year, and he talked to the Mix Zone about how he's very intentionally building this season slower than he did last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's really starting to have marks that are representative of the kind of shape that he's in. So he definitely could be up there. Without Joe in the pick, I had Joe as my gold favorite for Tokyo coming into this one. Without Joe in the picture, I think that now passes to Leo, especially considering what he did today. But there's really no reason the U.S. can't still take 2 medals away from Tokyo.
Mm-hmm. All right. Those are the throws. Are you excited for Tokyo?
A little bit.
A little bit.
It's going to be fun.
It should be fun. Paul's first time leaving America.
Yeah.
So you're a little nervous about that?
A little bit. I need
You have a passport?
yes.
Okay.
Who was I talking to? I think Sam Mattis was telling me yesterday he's like starting to learn Japanese. I'm like, maybe I should get Duolingo or something.
Yeah. I feel like you'd learn a language very quick.
Maybe. I was
All right.
okay in like high school Spanish.
All right. Well, all right. So Paul's going to learn Japanese for all of us in Japan.
I need to learn we love track and field in Japanese. at the
Yeah.
very least.
If we have any Japanese fans out there, can you get us the proper, like, translation of I love track and field? Because we want to put that, like, on a shirt or a hat or something like that for us to rock while we're there. Because I feel like it's a very easy one to mess up if you use the word track, or like they could refer to, like, you know, like a train track or like a musical track. We want like track and field. Yeah, I can't really mess that one up. But
It's probably just going to be like
if
their
you know
version of
Japanese,
athletics, like it is for
no,
Fred.
I don't want athletics.
Oh,
I love track and field in
Okay.
Japanese.
No, what was it in Paris?
J'adore l'athlétisme.
Yeah.
No, yeah. All right. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Chris.
An exciting 4 days of track and field here in Eugene, Oregon. I hope you guys have all enjoyed all of our coverage. The CITIUS Mag podcast is the #1 running podcast on the charts right now. Off the Rails with Eric and Aisha is #2. So CITIUS Mag 1-2 at the on the podcast charts, which means we're going to Tokyo.
Where's
in a
the
couple
Pauly
weeks.
Throws podcast at?
It's not on the charts right now, but if you want to help Paul out, you go just hit subscribe. Subscribe to Paul's show, give it a little bit of love, and maybe we can get the Pauly Throw show up on the podcast charts as well. We have so many interviews from the Mix Zone on the CITIUS Mag YouTube channel. If you subscribe to the CITIUS Mag newsletter, you got that daily. David Melly cranking away and writing it. It's been awesome. He's also been curating all of our social media content, captions, all of that stuff. He's the mastermind behind just how quickly we're able to turn around all of these posts. So if you're an athlete who made it, we will get a post up for you eventually. And our photographers, Johnny Zhang, Justin Britton, did an amazing job of capturing so many great images all throughout. Paul, Keenan, and Anderson held it down in the Mix Zone. Kind of helped quarterback a couple things here and there in regards to our coverage. Mac producing all of these shows. Eric and Aisha doing these podcasts. Audrey Allen doing our media production behind the scenes as well, whether it's clipping these shows, posting on social. She's been a rock star. Who else am I missing? Logan, who's our Eugene operations manager. Takes good care of us, keeps us well fed. Anyone else? Jasmine Fair at home, rocking all of the remote social media coverage. She'll be joining us in Tokyo as well. And then to all of our beloved significant others who put up with, or don't, my wife hasn't heard from me in 4 days. But then other people like Sam, who's here with Mac, and all the significant others who put up with our passionate love of track and field for a couple days. Thanks everyone for listening. If you enjoyed our coverage, be sure to leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, especially made it this far into the episode. We will be back over the next couple of weeks with more interviews on the CITIUS Mag podcast with a lot of the stars who made Team USA. So get ready. The road to Tokyo is already underway, and we're just a couple weeks from being in Japan. I'm excited because I love track and field.
I love track and field.
Thanks, everyone, for watching and listening.